We all love Football Manager Mobile, but for me, it was starting to feel a little too easy, a little too predictable. So I decided to change that. To really test myself, I had to make things a lot harder. This time, we're attempting the impossible. We're going to try and win the Champions League in just 4 seasons. And we're not starting at the top, not even close. We're taking over Leicester City in the championship. And here's the crazy part. They're currently sitting 22nd in the league. Relegation form, no confidence, no momentum. So for me, there was only one choice. If we're going to prove ourselves, we take the hardest route possible. We rebuild this team, we get them promoted, and somehow, we turn them into champions of Europe in just 4 seasons. No excuses, no shortcuts. Let the challenge begin. So the first thing I had to do was evaluate the squad and really understand what I was working with. And to be fair, there were a few players that immediately stood out. Players like Abdul Fatawu, Yannick Vestergaard, Jamal Lascelles, and most importantly, Jeremy Manga. He's easily the best wonder kid at the club, and I've already set myself a goal. By the end of this challenge, I want to turn him into a £100 million player. Now, financially, we're not in a great position. We only have around £5 million to spend, and the wage budget is extremely tight. So ideally, I didn't want to make too many signings. But then, I saw an opportunity I just couldn't ignore. Memphis Depay was available for a very cheap price. Woo! And for me, it was a no-brainer. We needed that extra bit of quality in the final third, someone who could make the difference in big moments. So even with the tight budget, I had to bring him in. I was also able to make one important sale to help balance the books. Everton came in with an offer for one of our wingers, Thomas, worth around £3.2 million. Now, ideally, I would have loved to keep the squad intact, but given our financial situation, it made sense to let him go. And this is where things get even tougher. Because due to our financial constraints, we're only able to receive 50% of that transfer fee back into the budget, which means even after the sale, we're still working with very limited resources. So every decision from this point on has to be smart. No wasted signings, no unnecessary risks. If we're going to get promoted, we have to do it the hard way. So moving on to the start of the season, we got off to the perfect start with a big win against Sheffield Wednesday, thanks to a brilliant brace from Patson Daka. And we didn't stop there. We followed it up with another victory against Grimsby Town in the Carabao Cup, which gave us a lot of confidence early on. At that point, everything was looking good. The team was performing, the system was working, and it felt like we had real momentum. But it didn't last long. We suffered our first defeat of the season, a 1-0 loss to Preston North End. And this one hurt a bit more, because it was also the game I decided to give our wonder kid Manga his first start of the season, not the debut I was hoping for. Alright, quick one before we continue. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. It really helps. Also, I've been playing this football management game called Footium a bit more, and I'm not gonna lie, it's actually getting competitive now. The way it's set up, you're in a 12-team league, playing matches every day, so every decision you make in between actually matters. I've been tweaking tactics, adjusting my squad, and trying to stay consistent across matches, and you can really feel the difference when things click. Matches are also live, so you can change tactics mid-game, make subs, and react to what's happening, which I really like. If you enjoy the tactical side of Football Manager, this is something you'll genuinely have fun with. Also, a lot of you have already started joining my league, so it's getting interesting now. If you haven't joined yet, use the link in the description, sign up for free, and jump in. I'll also leave the game guide there, so you can get started properly. And yeah, I might actually do a full video on this soon. Maybe even react to how you guys are doing in the league. So let's get back into it. After that painful defeat, we needed a response, and the boys delivered. We bounced back with a huge 3-2 win against Charlton Athletic, thanks to a masterclass performance from Patson Daka and Joe Aribo. At this point, it was becoming very clear. If he keeps this up, Patson Daka is going to be our player of the season. But just when things started looking good again, reality hit. We crashed out of the Carabao Cup after a disgraceful loss to Manchester United, losing 6-2, completely outclassed. But to be fair, we didn't let that result break us, because in the league, we stayed focused. We kept grinding out results, picking up points, and building momentum. After 5 games, we're sitting 4th on the table with 10 points, and just 1 loss in the league so far. Not a bad start at all. 7 games into the season, and it's time to take a look at how some of our key players are performing. And honestly, the signs are very encouraging. Our wonder kid has started brilliantly, already scoring 1 goal and providing 4 assists in just 7 games. He's really beginning to show his quality. Joe Aribo has also been outstanding, with 4 goals and 1 assist in just 6 games. He's been a massive part of how we're playing right now. And then there's Patson Daka, who is easily our player of the season so far. 6 goals in 6 games. He's been absolutely clinical in front of goal. If these players can keep this level of performance going, then we might actually have something special on our hands this season. October and November were really strong months for us. We managed to keep the momentum going, losing just once and picking up only a single draw during that entire period. And at this point, you could feel it. We were building something. Then came the big test, a massive game against Southampton, who were sitting at the top of the table. This was our chance. Win this game, and we go up to 33 points and move 2 points clear at the top. But the question was, could the boys deliver? No, we couldn't get it done. The game ended 1-1, and it took a last-minute equalizer from James just to save us. And with that result, we dropped down to 5th on the table. A missed opportunity, but the season is far from over. December was another strong month for us. We kept the momentum going, kept picking up points, and by the end of the month, we were sitting 3rd on the table. We even had a game in hand, and were just 5 points behind the league leaders, Birmingham City. At this point, it was getting really close. Then January came around, and we knew this was a crucial moment. If we wanted to win the league and secure promotion, we had to strengthen the squad. The problem? We had a very limited budget, so big signings were off the table, which meant one thing: we had to be smart. We turned to the loan market and managed to bring in some very important additions. Cherry from Juventus, Volpato from Sassuolo, Baum from Eintracht Frankfurt, and Rio Ngumoha from Liverpool to add some pace and energy on the left wing. We also had to fix the right back position, as Pereira just wasn't reliable enough. And by the end of January, the impact was already clear. We had climbed up to 2nd place, just 2 points behind the league leaders, Ipswich Town. Now, the title race was fully on. And by the end of January, it was time to take a look at how our key players were performing. Patson Daka had been unbelievable. 24 goals and 2 assists in 27 games. He was carrying this team. Steffi Mavididi was also having a fantastic season, with 8 goals and 7 assists in 25 games. Memphis Depay struggled a bit with injuries, but even then, he still managed 10 goals and 4 assists in 20 appearances. And then, our wonder kid Jeremy Manga, 6 goals and 8 assists in 25 games. He was growing right in front of us. As the season progressed, we had a decent FA Cup run, but it came to an end in the quarterfinals after a 4-2 loss to Manchester City. And funnily enough, it's now the Manchester clubs that have knocked us out of both domestic competitions this season. Don't worry, we'll get our revenge. But the main objective? Promotion. And by April, we had done it. After 44 games, Leicester City were officially back in the Premier League. First mission? Complete. But we didn't stop there. We pushed all the way to the end of the season and went on to win the championship title with 97 points. An incredible season. Patson Daka finished as the league's top scorer with 30 goals, 32 in all competitions, and was named our player of the season. Jeremy Manga also stepped up massively, finishing with 11 goals and 8 assists in 38 games. Memphis Depay, despite his injuries, still contributed 11 goals and 8 assists in 27 appearances. Abdul Fatawu added 13 goals and 4 assists, while Steffi Mavididi finished strong with 10 goals and 10 assists. This team has delivered, and just like that, Season 1 comes to an end. We set out to get promoted, and we've done exactly that. But now, the real challenge begins. The Premier League. Can this team survive? Can we push for Europe? And are we actually on track to win the Champions League in 4 seasons? If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. This is my first time doing a series like this, so drop a comment and let me know what you think, and what I can improve. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode.